Excellent. So, I think what I decided to do for this stream is to actually explain what this game is, what the story is, and kind of give you guys some context for what Zenless Zone Zero is all about. If you think of this stream kind of like a little Valentine's date, this is the part of the date where this is the part of the dinner where your date autistically info dumps on you while you wait for the appetizers to arrive, okay? So, in the world of Zenless Zone Zero, it takes place in what it takes place in New Eridu. What is New Eridu? New Eridu is what is called the Last City. So, New Eridu is the last city. It is the last bastion of humanity, supposedly. We are learning that that might not quite be the case, but as of the start of the game, it is supposedly the last city on Earth? Question mark. We don't know if it's meant to be our Earth or just a different fantasy world entirely. But it is a post-apocalyptic setting where the world has been ravaged by these things called the Hollows. What are Hollows? Hollows are these large spherical things you see dotting the map. What they are essentially massive spatial rifts. They're kind of like pocket dimensions that essentially just started popping up across the planet one day under mysterious circumstances. They're like spatial anomalies. And within these spatial rifts, these new mysterious dimensions, there is a new substance, a new element, a new energy source called ether. And as we said, I mentioned this when we were talking about Kingdom Hearts, how learning about a setting, learning about a story, it's all about identifying the proper nouns, right? It's all about what are the enemies called, what are the cool guys called, what is the magic called, right? What is the special stuff, what is the special energy source called, right? In this setting, it's ether. Ether is a special resource, a element of magic that does all kinds of things, right? It lets you you can harness it to create new technology. You can manipulate it to create like elemental or magical effects. It creates all sorts of weird anomalous phenomenon just by itself. It creates like spatial distortions, and most concerningly, most dangerously, it does something called corruption. It corrupts things. It corrupts physical matter, organic matter, anything it comes into contact with that doesn't have like natural resistance to it, becomes corrupt when it comes into contact with ether. And when humans come into contact with ether specifically, they become corrupted and turn into what are known as ethereals, which are essentially monsters, right? They are the enemy types of the game. So, identifying your proper nouns, what are the enemies? What are the bad guys of the game called? The bad guys are called ethereals. Ethereals are basically just monsters, right? They're demons, they're the basic enemies you find throughout the game that when hollows started appearing, when they started popping up around the planet, regular people go inside the hollows or they get sucked into them, get corrupted into ethereals, and suddenly monsters are all over the place, right? These hollows, these massive pocket dimensions start spreading all across the planet. They're tearing cities apart in the process. Everybody turns into monsters, right? Very bad stuff happening. The only kind of saving grace here is that ethereals cannot actually exist outside of the hollow, right? Once an ethereal leaves the hollow, it's not quite clear if they like die as soon as they leave the hollow or if they literally just aren't able to leave, like it's a barrier. But for whatever reason, if you're outside the hollow, you're safe. As soon as you go into the hollow, you'll basically get corrupted and turn into a monster within like 20 minutes. You're fucked. It is dire, right? And across the planet, these hollows have appeared and they've expanded to the point where civilization has been pushed to the brink. There's only one place in the whole world where society has remained standing, and that is here in New Eridu, the last bastion. Everyone is kind of all correlated and amassed in one spot where it's relatively stable, and this is where we're all kind of holding out. And so, how do we deal with this situation, right? Because hollows are dangerous, but you gotta kind of deal with them, right? People want to go inside the hollows for various reasons. They want to research them to figure out how they work. They want to, like, recover things that have been lost inside them, old world technology. And some people just want to go inside and, like, do jobs and just, recover stuff, do shady dealings inside because they provide cover, right? So what you have are hollow divers, hollow researchers, hollow raiders. Basically, people who are naturally born with a resistance to ether, like I mentioned earlier. If you have a high resistance to ether, you can enter a hollow for a fairly decent amount of time, longer than a regular person, and move around, right? That is who your cool guy is, right? Who are the cool guys, right? Your proper nouns. What is a cool guy
How
kind?
can I
It's a
help you?
hollow diver or a hollow raider. And that's what all your
I'll show you
gotcha,
my real rival this time.
who all your gotcha guys are, who you're pulling for. Are your hollow divers, your agents, your hollow raiders, etc., etc. They get called different things based on like what factions they belong to or what specific reasons they're going into hollow for. Are they going in to like steal shit and like be bandits? Then they're usually hollow raiders, right? Um and
Where are we
one of the
going?
things about the
There's no class
hollows,
today.
one of the dangerous things about the hollows is that um because they're anomalous, right? Ether fucks with space time, and it warps reality within itself. You can go inside a hollow, hit like a spatial rift, and then get completely turned around inside of it, which means navigating through it is nearly impossible once you're inside. You'll get flipped turned around, twisted, and not be able to find the exit again unless you have someone called a proxy who is specifically trained to know like advanced mathematical computer formulas to help calculate and navigate someone through a hollow. And that is where your main protagonists come in. This is a pair of siblings. You are a proxy, Belle, the female character, and let me pull up, and Weiss. You are a brother and sister who are the proxies whose job it is to pair up with hollow divers and help them navigate through the hollow on whatever mission they're doing, right? You're the guy in the chair. You are the one feeding them information, telling them where to go, getting them out safely. You are not the cool guy doing the fighting. You are the Overwatch, right? You are the nerd techie. Um And you, specifically, you and your brother, are the legendary group Phaethon. You are like the top dogs. You are the most infamous, special, revered proxy group in the world as of the start of the game, right? And the thing about being proxies is that technically it is an illegal job because unless you work for the government, technically going inside hollows is actually illegal. Being a hollow raider, being a hollow diver is not okay. You're not supposed to do it. It's very dangerous. It's very shady. The government's like, why are you doing that? We have an official like organization set up to go in these hollows and recover things and do research and figure out what's going on with this stuff. You don't have any reason to be in here. No, 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 no. Bad. So you guys are actually basically, super wanted criminals as of the start of the game. So you guys go on a job
How can I
with
help?
a
Bear
group
witness,
called
the
the
constables
Cunning
ready and waiting.
Hares. The first group you get in the game is this faction called the Cunning Hares. These are your day one ride or dies. By the start of the game, they already know you. You've already worked with them before. They're like your group of misfits, right? They're like a group of idiots of Nicole, a robot named Billy Kid, who's basically robot Deadpool. This cool like emotionalist Reaname type named Anbi, and then this annoying cat girl who I constantly forget exists. And they get themselves in trouble botching this job, trying to steal from an enemy gang. Um, and they get stuck in a hollow, and they're like, shit. Okay, we need help. We need to get bailed out because even though we have high ether corruption, we've been in here for like an hour, and even our shit's gonna run out, and we're gonna get corrupted into ethereals. Hey, Phaethon, you need to bail us out, like right now. We're fucked. We are so fucked. Can you help us? And they're like, okay, fine. And in the process, an enemy hacker intercepts you, finds out your identities, threatens to expose you, and you have to purge your whole system. You have to wipe your account. You have to get rid of your identity. You have to factory reset your computers, give it all up, start over from scratch. Thus, your player account starting from level 1, right? That's the initial concept of the game is you are legendary proxies, but you're starting over from the beginning. Rags to riches. Gotta build yourself back up from the bottom. And as part of this job you were doing, the thing they were stealing, the Cunning Hares, from this rival gang, turned out to be a super advanced AI that you guys then get your hands on by the name of Fairy. So now, yes, you guys are starting off from the bottom, but you have a super advanced AI clanker buddy that helps you like do super hacking skills to do everything, right? So this is very helpful. So, first chunk of the story is actually fairly grounded. It's very street level at first. Nicole and the Cunning Hares are investigating what all this shit is about with the AI thing, the gang, and eventually you uncover that this corporation led by this asshole named Perlman. Yeah, I prepared fucking outside images for this. So you guys need to appreciate. So this asshole Perlman, his company is doing some shady like land development bullshit where he is like trying to demolish a section of the city and like force out a group of people and force them into a hollow to relocate them and like cover up the fact that he's like gonna kill like all the residents of this section of the town so that he can take the land and like develop it for some like city redevelopment project, right? Under the guise that he's saying like, oh yeah, no, we paid everybody off to like move out and like get new homes. Yeah, no problem. So cunning hairs discover his evil plan, and we go and take care of him. We take him out, or you know, we get him arrested at least, right? Only to find out, or at least get a hint, that perhaps the real person behind it was not Perlman, but his assistant, a mysterious woman, a mysterious dark-haired woman by the name of Sarah. She's kind of like in the background at first, but she's like shady. You know, the camera lingers on her for a long time for some reason as Perlman's getting taken away to the cops. But as Nicole and the Cunning Hairs are getting ready to take Perlman to trial, which is very funny. Like, there's like a whole chunk of the story that's just like everybody getting suited up to go to court, which I don't know why that tickled me. I was like, oh, we're actually like following through on like arresting the bad guy. Usually it's like take him away, boys, and then like we don't like bother to care about the rest. But no, like we're actually like going to prosecute this motherfucker. But Perlman gets like sprung loose by the corrupt powers that be. The people pulling the strings, by a group called Tops, because the city is run politically by the mayor, um, a man who is supposedly elected. We don't really know how he became into power, but the mayor runs the city. But really, the people who control a lot of influence is a massive conglomerate of companies, megacorporations called Tops. Super, capitalist hellscape kind of deal. Cyberpunk-esque deal. And they kind of spring him out, let him escape, which then leads us to
Need something?
pursuing
My services
him
are expensive.
all the way out to what is called the Outer Rim. Because past, outside of New Eridu, the last city, you can go to the outskirts, where it's like a big desert Mad Max style area where people live free and die hard. Your hardened biker people are doing desert runs. Like, super cool, right? Completely different tone, completely different feeling. But still massive hollows looming ominously in the distance. Oh, I should probably get rid of that to let you see the massive hollow looming in the distance. Sorry. But yes, this is Blazewood, part of the Outer Rim. As you can see, it's like a little desert, Mad Max inspired area that you come to visit in pursuit of the escaping Perlman. You gotta bring him to justice. You gotta question him because he knows something about the corruption going on in the city, right? And while you're here, you meet the Mad Max style waifu biker gang, the Sons of Caledon, led by one dumbass tomboy Caesar King. And she is literally just a Mad Max gladiator lady. Like, super cool, super dumb. Like, sword and shield fucking parries the shit out of everything. Got a fucking robo arm. And their whole thing is that to become the leader of the Outer Rim, your gang has to win this giant, like, race, right? It's like very Mad Max, like very blatantly Mad Max inspired. So you kind of have like a little side quest here where you help the Sons of Caledon. She's a Caledon member. She's a Caledon member. As you can see, like, they are very distinct style, right? You help them win their massive, big ol' combat race. You defeat the rival gang. You stop the evil bad guys. You capture Pearlman again. And you get more intel, right? And you're like, oh, it's not just me who was behind it. It was Sarah. She was the real mastermind. I was just a puppet. You know, I'm just the guy set up to take the fall. It was really her. And it wasn't just her. It was Bringer. Who's Bringer? Bringer is the head of PubSect. PubSect is the police force of New Eridu. Is basically the cops of the game, you know. Like, she's a member. Jion is a member of PubSect. This android girl is a member of PubSect. You've probably also seen the rat girl, Jane Doe. She's also a member of PubSec. She's like an undercover cop. The closest thing this game has to a femboy is a member of PubSec. You got Seth here. So he's cool. But basically, all of them are led by Bringer. And Bringer is a corrupt cop, you know, obviously, not a surprise, right? And he is working with Sarah to undermine the city and take over and implement a secret plan to bring about what is called the Creator. Mega Chad Thundercock looking ass. Exactly, right. So, what ends are they actually working towards, right? What are they doing? What is all this shady shit for? You know, they're attacking people, they're kidnapping people, they're fighting the protagonist, right? They got plans and secret plans on secret plans. Every time you beat them, Sarah is in the background going, ha ha ha, all according to Keikaku. What is this ultimately amounting to? Well, these people are all part of a cult called the Exaltus. And the Exaltus all worship a mysterious god called the Creator. Now, we haven't fully seen the Creator materialize yet. This is like an artist's rendition of what they look like. We've only seen like manifestations, avatars of them so far, but it's like a dark evil god who essentially wants to create a quote-unquote perfect world by stripping away everyone's individuality, creating a world where there's only peace and happiness because, you know, nobody can disagree with each other. Everybody lives in harmony because there's no disputes. If everybody, you know, follows God's one perfect will and there's no individuality, there's no thought, you know, then there's just pure bliss, right? That kind of thing, right? Not super original, but it's serviceable, right? It works, it's fine. Pretty decent enough villain. right? The creator looks suggestive. So, the bulk of the game's patches and seasons so far has been us going from region to region and fighting the creator's cultists, right? The Exaltists. Manifesting in one way or another. You know, you go to a town, some major figure in the town is doing some shady shit. It usually, 9 times out of 10, turns out they're related to the Exaltists in some form or fashion, right? And after enough times, we stop them enough times that we,
A mission? Take me along.
you know, Bell and Weiss, we eventually just completely blow our cover because we're proxies, remember? We're supposed to be undercover, we're illegal agents. We're operating under the law, but as I mentioned, a lot of these playable characters are members of the government. Like, one of the strongest characters in the game, one Hoshimi Miyabi, the Void Hunter, is also part of PubSec, part of their special operations unit. And when you go to the Outer Rim, she straight up just finds out that you're a proxy and immediately tries to arrest you. And no one in the game has the means to stop her from doing that. You manage to befriend her and get her to, like, vouch for you. But, like, you're kind of fucked, right? You're screwed. Fortunately, you guys have saved the day enough times that you get the attention of the mayor of New Eridu. And they decide, hey, Bell, Weiss, you guys, you know, you might be proxies, you might be criminals, but you guys are such you're such a special little boy and girl, you're such good guys, that we're gonna make a special exception, and I'm gonna make you my representatives. You guys are gonna be, like, heroes for New Eridu, you're gonna operate under my name. And it turns out that you guys actually are really special and have special powers. You have, like, a Sharingan eye abilities that let you manipulate ether. We don't know to what extent. So far, you only, like, activate these powers in, like, extremely stressful situations. For example, one of these characters is a girl named Vivian, who is, like, your yandere stalker who's in love with you. And on one of your adventures, she, like, sacrifices herself to save you while you're in a hollow, and, like, gets corrupted by ether and is about to turn into an ethereal herself. But at the very last minute, your special eye powers, your Sharingan, kicks in, and you purge her of the ether and save her and undo the corruption, which has never happened before. A special ability, the power to undo corruption, never before heard of. God, you're so special. So, you're super special, you guys have cool powers, you're unlocking them, and the only way to fully unlock your powers is you have to go train. You have to go on a training montage. So, as of 2.0, you guys get sent to Phylum Heights, which is essentially, because New Eridu is a massive mega city. It's not just that one little chunk that I showed you. It's like a cyberpunk-esque, like, super city with many, many districts. So you go to Phylum Heights, which is essentially the, like, Chinese district of the city, right? It's like old school Chinatown. So you get sent off to a place called Soybian Temple. An old school monk monastery where you get to train, I shit you not, in this urban sci-fi fantasy game in the second season, you start by getting sent off to train with fucking Chinese mystical monks to get ether powers. In this, like, Chinese quarter of the city. This is very Hoyo coded. MiHoYo loves doing this kind of thing. But yes, you get sent to train under,
Time for some hard labor.
There, Witten's got a new ghost story to share.
your Yishuan Shifu. The leader of a group called Yonghui Summit. Yeah, we'd be hanging out with the monks. You know, they're a part, and you even get a Kung Fu Panda. You even get a Kung Fu Panda, Pan Yinhu. He's the cook. Ow. But yeah, you know, so you're basically being trained to become a cool guy yourself eventually, right? And over the course of 2.0, you go on even more misadventures, right? While you're in the process of your training montage, you fight the Exaltus more and more. They start getting more bold. They create these things called sacrifices. What are sacrifices? Essentially, a sacrifice is like a human experiment where you can kind of create an ethereal that is able to exist outside of the hollow. It's like a mutated human that has like the strength and like abilities of an ethereal, but doesn't have to stay in a hollow. So that's really dangerous. So now the Exaltus can like go out and cause damage to civilians even outside of hollows. So now it's like, oh, these people are dangerous. They gotta fucking go. So more misadventures happen across the chapters. You meet more and more people. You meet up with this group called Spook Shack. You meet this spunky Tanuki girl in Phylum Heights. You meet this like scaredy cat bunny girl who's like a rich spoiled brat. You guys you guys take a whole summer break to just run a beach resort together, which is fun. And then you got this beefcake looking motherfucker, this goddamn guts JoJo looking motherfucker, this goddamn soul bad guy Shadow the Hedgehog looking motherfucker. Beautiful. Love me some Minato. Hey Dante, yeah, he's just everything. He's every character action and fighting game character rolled into one. Love this guy. So, as it goes through, you're clearing out the Exaltus bit by bit until the point you basically eradicated the whole cult. So they have to throw a Hail Mary, and Sarah,
Yeah, I guess this outfit ain't too bad.
whoops.
The blue bandages are kind of
Sarah
annoying,
essentially decides to go for broke. They're like, alright, we're down to our last dregs. This shit is not going well for us. So, fuck it, we ball. Sarah has her very last plan, which is to essentially, bring in the ultimate waifu girl, who is
Time for some hard.
Promise to tell me if anything's wrong.
Yi
okay?
Shangguan. Yi Shangguan is a member of Yonghui Summit as well, the same faction as Yishuan Shifu, your teacher, who's teaching you the monk powers. And she is the wielder of something called the Qingming Sword. What is the Qingming Sword? It's basically just a super powerful MacGuffin blade that has the power to, like, destroy ether, seal off hollows, and as well, it destroys its wielder over time. Every time you wield it, it like strips away your senses, it steals your memories. It's a horrific, like, it's powerful, but at a cost, right? But it's also connected to the creator. It has the creator's power. It's like, takes from the same source. So Sarah, essentially, uh, fools Yi Shengguan's brother because her brother wants to separate her from the sword because she's been like its chosen wielder and she can't really separate herself from it. You can't just not be its wielder once it's chosen you. You're kind of fucked. So Sarah is like, okay, hey, big brother, you want to save your sister? Come with me. Let's work together. Let's make a truce. Help me revive the creator. And with the creator's power, we can just undo and destroy the Qingming sword. And your sister will be free. Brother's like, alright, bet. Let's do it. So you're like, oh no, is the brother gonna be evil now? Oh shit, he's turning to the dark side. He's being fooled. He's being manipulated. And then at the very last minute, the brother's like, you dumb bitch. I didn't fall for jack shit. Not only was I not fooled by your plan, I've been secretly sending messages to Yishuan this whole time to let her know that I'm not evil at all. I've been still on the good guys team the whole time. So he was trying to get her to resurrect the creator, specifically just so he could try to destroy the creator himself. Which, still a foolish plan. It still didn't work. He still got mind controlled and we had to like boss fight him. But at the end of the day, we managed to defeat him, free him, and we got off scot-free. And then at the very end, as of last patch, we meet back up with the brother. We go through a whole, like, damn near 7 hours of drama of, like, oh god, do I use the Qingming sword? The Qingming sword is so dangerous. Sis, you can't use the Qingming sword. The Qingming sword is evil. But it's my duty to use the Qingming sword. But you don't need to use the Qingming sword. It's not your responsibility. You don't need to die for everyone else. That's not fair. But you're... And then she has an alter ego. She has an alternate personality who doesn't want to use the Qingming sword. She just wants to live. She's like, no, fuck that. I'm not being a hero. These people just want me to be a sacrifice for the Qingming sword. Fuck that shit. And then it turns out that Yongkui Summit, the super cool good guy monks that you've been training with, the elders of the temple have been deliberately picking out orphans to be fodder for the Qingming sword. So, Yi Shengguan was very deliberately chosen to be the wielder of the Qingming sword because she was an orphan and was disposable. So she was, in fact, picked to just be a sacrifice for it because the sword needs a wielder, and hey, if we pick orphans to select, then it won't be people who will be missed. Yeah, her brother uncovers that secret and confronts everybody, and that was actually like I was halfway through the story and I was like, man, this really kind of sucks. I'm not... And then that part came up, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually getting good. We spilling some tea. So they actually did have a pretty cool twist where it's like, oh no, Yongkui Summit actually kind of sucks. These guys are fucking assholes, which is great because Yongkui Summit has been super divisive. This whole outside of the story, like in real life, people do not fuck with Yongkui Summit, or at least a good portion of the fan base, because they're, as you can see, they are very fantasy heavy, right? Like this is a game that is like, most of the characters are like kind of have a very like punk aesthetic. They have like modernized like urban like skater designs, kind of like it's very modern, very like sci-fi cyberpunk fantasy kind of deal, right? And then 2.0, year 2 of the game drops, and suddenly Yonkoi Summit, every character coming out is like a Genshin Impact character. They all have fantasy designs out of nowhere. So everyone's like, okay, Yonkoi Summit dropped, and now the identity, the very distinct style of the game is being stripped away to make these like very generic designs. So people are like, okay, I'm not really fucking with Yonkoi Summit. So it was almost kind of cathartic for the writers to be like, yeah, no, Yonkoi Summit, they're fucking assholes. Fuck these guys. And I'm like, yeah, fuck these guys. Yeah, fuck Yonkoi Summit. All my homies hate Yonkoi Summit. But, Yishuan Shifu was innocent. She didn't know about the evil orphan sacrificing. She was unaware. You know, she's young. She just recently became the Grandmaster. She wasn't aware of what the elders were doing, so she's fine. You know, she's in the clear. She can still be a good guy. And Pan's just the cook, right? He's just, you know, he's just making the dumplings. He's fine. None of the characters you play as are evil. You know, they're all good guys. But ultimately,
Man is iron, rice is steel. I make a mean
she's just following
meal.
orders. Exactly. And she feels really bad about it in the end, so it's fine. But ultimately, what it all comes down to is, despite being lied to and manipulated, Yang Shengwan makes the choice for herself to keep wielding the Qingming blade, because that's what being a hero is about. It's about making the choice to do the sacrifice, even if it's hard, even if it means you will, you know, pay a heavy price. You're doing it to save other people and protect the ones you love. Message, right? And then we go into the Hollow, because the corruption is spreading out into the real world again. And we find that Sarah, even after being defeated so many times, has seemingly merged with the creator itself, down in the darkest, deepest pit of the Lemnian Hollow, which is this hollow here in Phylum Heights. So yeah, this big fuck off hollow. We go in there, and you see that in the distance, and we fight this mega fuck off version of Sarah, infused with the power of the creator. Yishuangguan gets a huge power boost because the Qingming sword is also fueled by the power of the creator. She masters the sword. She, like, gains a buff and is no longer, like, super, you know, influenced by its negative effects. She defeats Sarah. This bitch is dead forever now. We've finally cleared up this part of the story. Yishuangguan gets named a Void Hunter.
Where are we going? Promise to tell me if
And
anything's wrong, okay?
as you can see, she is called the Qingming Arbiter. And everyone lives happily ever after for now. Except our
I'll give you a
heroes. Belle and Weiss have some unfinished business to attend to, because all this time, in the background, we have our own personal mission. Not just wiping out the Exaltus, not just saving New Eridu. We have our own reason to be doing all this, is that 11 years ago, New Eridu, or Old Eridu, the old capital, was destroyed by something called the Hollow Zero Disaster. Now, what is the Hollow Zero Disaster? You see up top that really big hollow, bigger than everything else around it? That's Hollow Zero. I believe it's the first ever hollow that was created, right? And at some point, 11 years ago, that hollow expanded drastically, like mega expanded, like a nuclear bomb levels. destroyed the entire capital city with it. Wiped everything out. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people dead. And it is believed widely that that Weiss and Bell's mentor, a woman by the name of Carol Dorna, is the one responsible for the Hollow Zero disaster. And this entire game, we have been working to uncover the secrets behind what happened that day 11 years ago, to try to clear our mentor, our teacher's good name. We are trying to uncover what happened so that our mentor, Carol, who worked at this mysterious facility that we lived in, we believe that she's innocent. We believe she could not possibly, because, you know, she was like a mother to us. You know, she raised us when we were, you know, orphans, right? She taught us everything we knew about being tech nerds and about being proxies. She couldn't possibly be behind destroying, like, committing a mass genocidal incident, right? But, unfortunately, the more we find out, the more it seems like she actually did do it. In fact, in our last story bit, we found illusions, little figments of the past, kind of, because the Hollow can create little remnants, little traces of the past behind. Essentially a recording, a soul recording, of what appeared to be Carol outright admitting that she was the one behind it. So now we're like, oh, well, I know that sounds bad, but surely, surely, there's gotta be more to it. So we're in full copium mode. But, I would assume, as the story goes forward, we're gonna try to find out more. But that's probably not what this next chunk of the story is, because we're in idle mode. That's right. This next story patch is not about the main story or any of that fucking Exaltus creator bullshit. This next patch is about the Angels of Delusion, which is an idol group that the Zenless Zone Zero devs have been teasing literally since the game first came out. And finally, 2 years later, they are finally being released and rolled out. And that's the video, everyone. If you've made it this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe, notify, share, engage, and hey, maybe even drop by the stream sometime if you want to catch me yapping live and unedited. And until next we meet, my fruits and nigglets, peace, love, we outcha.